Hey guys! Kumusta po kayo? Welcome again to my channel. So for this video, we are going to be talking about the updated interview process and the updated interview questions too. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the updated interview process first. Maraming nalilito, maraming nagtataka, maraming nagtatanong kung bakit iba-iba ang process na nai-experience ngayon ng mga applicants. Yes, personally ako, nalito din ako because I had a lot of referred tutors na nagtatanong sa akin, bakit ganito? Bakit ganun sa kanya, pero iba sa akin? First of all, ang updated interview process ngayon ay medyo iba-iba at medyo magulo, but we will get into the details. Kapag nag-apply ka sa Acadsoc, after the initial screening, you passed the resume screening, ang next na process nun is you having the interview. Paano nga ba ang interview process? Maraming nalilito. Kapag interview mo na, you could undergo either of these 3 interview process. 1, AI interview. AI interview, I've discussed this before. There's already a set of questions, recorded questions, and i-record mo lang din yung sarili mo na nag-answer sa mga question na yon. Then you will click submit, and that's it. That's the AI interview. Next na pwede mong ma-undergo sa interview mo is, it could be a real person interviewer. Bakit may ganito na naman? Before, real interviewer talaga ang meron. Wala pang AI interview. But because they had a large number of applicants, they had to resort to having the AI interview. Pero dahil AI is AI, computer-based, minsan nagkaka-glitch sila. That's what my TM said. I asked her also, bakit nag-shift na sa AI interview and yung iba may mga real person interviewer pa rin? That's because dahil nga sa large number of applicants and computer-based and nagkaka-glitch, minsan hindi nila nare-receive yung recordings. Minsan blank lang yung nare-receive nilang file for the AI interview. Kaya ang ginagawa nila, nag-dispatch ulit sila ng mga real person interviewers para ma-accommodate lahat ng applicants. So yes, pwedeng AI interview, real person interviewer, and the third one, pwedeng auto-pass. Ano yung auto-pass? Hindi ka nadadaan sa interview process. Yes, may ganun. Sa 10 referred teachers ko, isa sa kanila ang hindi na dumaan sa interview process. Bigla-bigla na lang siya message ng trainer niya. It looks like this. Hi, this is trainer something, blah blah, and I will be your trainer. This is the Zoom link. Binigyan na siya ng Zoom link para sa training nila and dire-diretso. Nagtataka siya. Tinanong niya ako, bakit diretso na ako sa training? Bakit hindi ako nag-undergo sa interview? O yung mga kasabayan ko, may interview sila. I also wondered, hindi ko alam. So I asked my TM again. And she said that they are now basing it through your resume. Kapag nag-apply ka, you click the application link, automatic failed ka kapag wala kang in-upload na resume. So you have to upload a resume and a good one at that. Kailangan updated and real information ang ilalagay mo doon because some QAs validate also what's inside your resume. And that's what happened to one of my referred teachers. Tinawagan yung isa sa mga references niya, and when they confirmed it, they sent her immediately to the training. And she had good background too. 4th year college na, education major pa. So yes, hindi na siya nag-undergo sa interview process. So yes, there are 3 processes ngayon kung saan pwede kang mag-undergo. You could undergo through the AI interview, or the real person interviewer, or the automatic pass. Now let's go to the actual interview questions sa Acadsoc. First of all, interview questions can vary from one applicant to another. These are only possible questions na pwedeng itanong sa'yo, but these were the actual questions na tinanong sa amin and sa mga referred teachers ko. So, disclaimer, baka mamaya you would lash out on me. I had 10 referred teachers. 6 sa kanila ay through AI interview. 2 ang real person interviewer, and isa yung naka-autopass. Isa yung nag-fail. I asked them the interview questions that they were asked. Hindi ko na sila iisa-isa kasi sobrang madami. So during the interview process, they follow like a pattern, a topic kung saan sila kukuha ng mga questions, and out of that topic, doon nila bubunutin yung mga pwede nilang ibato na tanong sa'yo. What are those patterns? I have observed that there are 4. First is about the job. Next is about you. Then about your equipment, and the last one is situational questions or idioms. Let's talk about the first one, about the job. What are the actual questions? 3 out of 10 referred tutors were asked this question about the job. Where did you hear about Acadsoc? So this is a very common question, I think, in all jobs. Where did you hear about us, about our company? So you will be asked that. Another question is, what makes you a qualified tutor here at Acadsoc? They will be asking you for your edge over other applicants, over other tutors. Bakit ikaw? Bakit hindi siya? Another one is, how long do you plan on working at Acadsoc? Gaano katagal? Next question is, do you want to be a full-time tutor or a part-time tutor? Tinatanong din nila to, but don't worry. Pag sinabi mong part-time tutor ka lang, pwede kang mag-full-time. They just want to know because this company is open to both. So, there's no right or wrong answer. Next is, how can Acadsoc help your career growth? So, ito na. Kunyari may career growth ka. So, they also want to know that. How can Acadsoc contribute to your career growth? Stepping stone lang ba kami para dun sa pinapangarap mo? Or you want to achieve your goals here with us? Next, commonly asked questions naman dun sa about you, yourself. Basic questions like your name, your age, your birthday, where do you live, or were you able to finish a degree, your education background, everything about you, and just the basic things. Oh, and this one. I think I find this weird. Not a question, but like a task. Sing a kid's song that you always liked as a child. I remember being asked this question and I remember singing The Wheels on the Bus. But that's not my favorite song. I didn't know that song when I was a kid. I only knew Unang Araw Pa. Those were the songs that I grew up with. But yeah, in this question, you have to sing a kid's song that you always liked. You can think of any songs. You can prepare a song in your mind already. And although hindi mo siya favorite as a child, it's still important that you have an answer with you. I mean, because let's be honest, it's also good to lie sometimes. Why lie? Bakit need mong magsinungaling? Because truth be told, although they want to hear from you, but they also want to hear things that would please them, that could be beneficial for them, or that could convince them that you are suitable for this job. So kapag wala kang may sagot, then paano ka? Even if you haven't experienced this topic in this question, you have to make up of something. You have to think of something para may maisagot ka lang. Another question about you is, what were you like as a child? They will also ask you, do you have children? Do you have a family? Niece, nephew, or anything? Basta may bata sa pamilya nyo or sa surroundings mo, sa environment mo. They will ask you this because they also want to know if may background ka, kung paano ka mag-handle ng mga bata, or may experience ka na mag-handle ng mga bata in general. Next possible question that could be thrown at you or asked to you is about your equipment. This is also a basic one. Before you conduct your interview, it's a must that you know what is your average speed test, both download and upload. What is your computer benchmark? Do you have a noise cancelling headphone? It is important na quick-witted ka dito and mabilis ka sumagot because the answers here have to be concrete. Hindi siya pwedeng vague na, meron naman, kaya ko namang mag-provide, or may kapitbahay naman kami na may wifi. You have to be concrete with your answers to this kasi nagbe-base din sila kung factual yung mga fill up mo during the application. They could also ask you about the teaching backups that you have with you that are available for you to use, or you can say that you have a backup laptop, anything, or if you have an iPhone, because like what I said, iPhones are compatible with Glass-In and they can record glass, unlike Android for now ha. So if you use Android as a backup for teaching, penalty ka. And lastly, isa to sa may pinakamadaming set of questions na na tanong sa mga na-refer kong teachers and sa akin din personally. So what are these situational questions? First, it could be about your teaching skills, about your teaching strategies. So they may ask you, what will you do if you have a student that has a 0 English level? Before the interview, you have to prepare for questions like this. Next question is, what will be your main teaching strategy if you get hired here at Acadsoc? I remember being asked this question and my answer was a friend, yes. In my mind that time, I thought I'm a teacher and a friend at the same time. Kids, they can get very shy, intimidated the moment they saw you on the screen, on the camera. So I think I can act, or my strategy would be I would act as their friend, not as a superior, para naman mag-gain ko yung trust nila, yung attention nila to cooperate and be part of the class. Another one, they can make you interpret idiomatic expressions like, what does beating around the bush means? Can you use this in a sentence? What is your take on the saying, heroes are not born, they are made? How would you use the expression go-getter in a sentence? What does the idiomatic expression sit on the fence means? What if I will tell you that the ball is in your court? What does this idiomatic expression means? Or what if your friend tells you they're having a cold feet? What do you think does that mean? Or they can give you quotes, famous quotes or lines na nakuha lang din nila sa internet, and they will let you interpret this, or what is your take on this? Do you agree with this? Do you disagree? One of the quotes thrown to me during my interview was a famous Chinese proverb, and it says like, teachers open the door but you must enter by yourself. I pondered and wondered and thought about this. Kasi yung nasa utak ko yung door lang. I opened the door, I closed the door. But I managed to answer the question and I forgot what my answer was because I was really nervous. What is your take on this quote, on that quote? They can give you a lot of quotes and you are going to interpret, agree, disagree. Another situational question na tinanong, I think sa 4 na referred tutors ko out of 10 is, if the whole world is paying attention to you for 1 whole minute, what would you say to them? So yes, those are the possible questions that might be asked to you. But again, I repeat, this may not be the actual questions that can be asked to you. These are only possible questions. Iba-iba per interview. It could change depende sa interviewer. It could also change depende kung nag-update sila ng system or binago nila yung set of questions. But like what I also said, you have to be quick-witted. Kailangan less fillers like less loading. To avoid this, pwede mong ulitin yung tanong sa sarili mo. So, ikaw, pag sumagot ka na, nag-start na yung time mo, you can say, if the whole world is paying 1 whole minute of attention to me, instead of saying, ganon, mag-construct ka na sa isip mo habang nire-repeat mo yung question. So, avoid hangin moments, lutang moments during your interview process. So, yes, those are some of the actual and possible questions na pwedeng maibato sa'yo during your interview questions. Ganon din ang updated interview process ngayon. I hope I was able to help you in a way. I hope this video is helpful in some way. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. Mag-iingat po tayong lahat. Bye!